Hey guys, what's up? It's Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm here tonight to talk about a movie that should be at the front of your minds right now, if it isn't already, and that is Candyman. Now, the reason I say it should be at the front of your mind right now is because we obviously have the new Candyman film coming out in just a few weeks, directed by Nia DaCosta, produced by Jordan Peele. There's a lot about that movie that we don't know. We know there's some returning characters, but we don't know in what capacity. We don't know if it's more of a straight up sequel or if it's going to kind of do its own thing. There's a lot that's up in the air, so questions abound. We're definitely wondering where this is going to go. I'm very eager for the movie, and I hope you guys are too. But I wanted to give a review of the 1992, in my opinion, classic Candyman. I went and revisited Candyman the other night, and I have to say, the movie still holds up incredibly well, if not better than I remembered. As a child, the movie scared me. It genuinely did. Now, as an adult, I still find it very unsettling in certain ways. But I think that and that's a good thing. But I think that it's a truly brilliant movie that touches on a lot of things that maybe need to be talked about more. I think that the fact that we get Tony Todd, the iconic Tony Todd, in such an amazing role is truly we're truly spoiled for getting that because he was born for this role. So let's get into this review. So the storyline of Candyman basically is in the projects of Chicago, Cabrini Green. There's a legend of Candyman. Candyman, if you say his name 5 times in the mirror, he shows up and kills you with his hook hand. And that's this legend in the city, in the town. And Helen Lyle, played by Virginia Madsen, and her I don't know if I know they're friends. I don't know if I think they're doing it together. They are doing the thesis together, so I'm assuming they go to school together. They're doing a thesis on the urban legend of Candyman, so they venture to Cabrini Green to get pictures, maybe talk to some people all about this murder that took place not long ago in this apartment complex that was supposedly done by Candyman. Well, Helen gets a little overzealous and, she's climbing through the walls and just getting these great pictures. And they really are. There's this really awesome mural on the wall. There's a hole in the wall, and it's Candyman's mouth, and it had been graffitied as his like a giant head with his mouth open, and that's like as she's coming through the hole. And I thought that was really cool. That's an image that sticks out about this movie. Well, she gets even more overzealous, and she decides that she's going to say Candyman 5 times in the mirror, but he doesn't show up, and you're wondering, oh, is it just a hoax? At this point, you genuinely believe that she does not believe this. But she wants to understand. She wants to understand why this would be a thing. Why is this talked about? Why, what is it about this story that's so captivating? And what's the truth behind it? So, but the entire time, Helen is afraid of being viewed as exploitative because she knows she's going to a place that she doesn't belong. She doesn't want to feel like she's overstepping or coming across as disrespectful or offensive or anything like that. So she's very cognizant of she is in an unfamiliar place that many would say she doesn't belong. And she doesn't fear this place, but she fears being viewed as exploiting these people and their pain and their stories that live there. And I think that is a really, really cool kind of social commentary there. And it gets deeper than that throughout the movie. So the movie goes on. She continues to do the work. She meets with Anne Marie, played by Vanessa E. Williams, who has a baby, Anthony, which is Anthony in the new Candyman movie, by the way, guys, which is super exciting if you didn't know that. And Vanessa Williams is also back to reprise her role as Anne Marie. And she fills Helen and Bernadette in on what she knows and talks about Candyman a little bit more. And, that's basically where we're left there. Until she finally does come face to face with Candyman about halfway through the movie. Candyman, and this is something that I did not know about till recently. I thought this was a really cool thing, and I didn't know if you guys knew about this. But Virginia Madsen was actually hypnotized during these scenes, which I thought was incredible because you watch the film and you see Virginia Madsen when she comes face to face with Candyman multiple times in the movie. She has this glossy look in her eyes. She looks gone. She doesn't look there. She looks like she is completely in a trance. That is because she was hypnotized for these scenes. And I think that's awesome. But I don't want to get too much on a tangent there. Yeah, Candyman reveals himself to her. He says he came for her. He wants her to be his victim, but he doesn't kill her there. And a lot of people might be going, oh, well, WTF, why not? Because Candyman wants her to truly understand his pain. And this is where the movie really gets deep and really, really gets cool. Murders start happening, disappearances start happening, and they're being framed by Candyman as if it were Helen, which is insane. Because you watch these things happen and you see the aftermath and you're like, oh, there's no way. There's no way she's getting out of this. There's just no way. It had to be her, right? There's going to be no explanation aside from it being her. And first of all, as a character, you would have to think you feel so bad for her because you know that she didn't do these things. But part of it is, again, he wants her to feel how he feels, how he felt. And also, it's part of a price she's paying for sticking her nose where it didn't belong. And I love that aspect of it. But, these continue to happen. She gets institutionalized. She loses her husband, she loses her friends, she loses everything, and eventually comes to terms with, okay, take me, I've got nothing left to live for, and she essentially becomes another Candyman, so to speak. He takes her, but not before she saves Anthony's life in the bonfire that they're setting up outside the project, or the building. Candyman was basically luring her out there with the baby. She ends up saving the baby, but ends up dying because of it. But she now essentially has become immortal because she gave herself to Candyman. And I mean immortal in the sense that she can come back like Candyman. She's not alive, but she's supernatural. Let's say that. Not immortal. You guys knew what I meant. It's very layered. There's a lot going on there. It's not this straightforward horror movie, and I really enjoy that about the film. So let's talk about a few things about Candyman. So first of all, the idea that Candyman's sole purpose is he wants her to die because he wants her. You see at one point in the movie, she sees a mural of his woman, the woman that he fell in love with years and years and years ago, the woman that he impregnated and was murdered for it. Basically a lynching for all intents and purposes. Let's be honest. And that's another play on, on social commentary in this movie, is that he came from a wealthy family, but even then, even his class status couldn't save him from the hatred and racism, of, a black man impregnated a white woman. And that, and they killed him for that, and they tortured him for that, and that's terrible. And the movie really tackles that head on, and I love that. But the craziest thing is Candyman takes his pain and his sorrow. He wants Helen because of who she reminds him of. As he says at one point, I love it in the movie. He says, "It was always you." He wants her with him for eternity, but he wants her to feel how he felt, that there's no one left, there's nowhere to go. He wants her to give up and then be willing to give herself up to him. He doesn't want to just straight up kill her. He wants her to say, I want to die. I have nothing left. And he even says that at a point in the movie too. All you have is me now. And it's true. That's all she has. He's taken everything from her. She has no reason to live. And again, that plays on, that's another message in this movie of like, feel the pain I felt and my ancestors felt. Feel how we felt, what we went through. I want you to feel that too. I want you to know how truly lonely and desolate and heartbreaking this was, and how painful it was. a lot of movies get into social commentary nowadays, but you didn't see it a ton back then. There's definitely some movies. This is a movie that I don't think gets talked enough about for really attacking racism head on and stereotypes head on. And for that, I just think it's a brilliant movie in and of itself. From the acting of Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd to the gore and the score by Philip Glass is an amazing score. It's amazing, but the social commentary isn't so thick that it's like you're not even trying to tell me a story. You're just trying to push your message into my face. It's not like that. It's telling you a story, but that message is there the entire time. And it's beautiful. It's done very poignantly, very, very delicately, and I love that. There's a lot more to Candyman than just the urban legend of guy with hook comes back to kill people. I mean, the movie is a very dreadful feeling movie. It's very hopeless. It's very sad. It's very painful. But my gosh, this movie, rewatching it recently, I really was reminded of how much I loved the movie. Again, like I said, very deep, very thought-provoking, very ahead of its time. Some would argue not, actually behind its time. But it truly, truly, truly is, honestly, a horror classic for me. This would probably make it on a top 25 list for me. I'm very excited for the new film. But what did you guys think of Candyman? Did you notice some of these messages? Did you know that Virginia Madsen was hypnotized during those scenes? Did you get some of these deeper points in the movie? I think that it's woven into such a very pleasing narrative. It doesn't feel heavy-handed. It doesn't feel forced. Candyman's it's a great movie. Now, Farewell to the Flesh and Day of the Dead are two totally different stories, but Candyman is a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you watch this movie, especially before the new one comes out. Because we're only like 3 weeks away now, people. If you haven't seen it in a while, go ahead and give it a rewatch. But I think this movie doesn't get talked about enough. And it's a shame, because there really is a lot of deep messaging in this movie, and it comes across in such a great way, and it's such a fun watch, and it's so memorable. It's a great movie. I love Candyman. What do you guys think of Candyman? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and make sure to give this video a like. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.